As a cold front sweeps the nation and schools around the state begin to close, the Warsaw Tigers have braved the frigid temperatures to travel 37 miles east as they take on the Homestead Spartans in a matchup of top 5 Titans. Good evening, everybody. Braxton Hall along with Malachi Stout. And Malachi, let's start off with Homestead. Their last game against a fellow team from Indiana, that was last Friday against Snyder, and the Spartans looked a little show-shocked early in that one.
Yeah, the Spartans started off that game rough, and they really just couldn't handle the pressure that the Panthers were bringing. They really struggled to break it early, and they ended with the Panthers up 1, something the Spartans really weren't looking forward to in that game.
It was a 22-21 lead at halftime. In the end, they only gave up 14 points in the second half and ended up winning the game by 30 points, 66-36, to remain unbeaten in conference play with just 2 games left in the SAC. Meanwhile, for Warsaw, this team, they have looked unstoppable this season. The Tigers, they look unstoppable. The question, can the Spartans be the ones to stop them? We'll step away, but on the other side, Owen Kruger and Atticus Dean are standing by for the OPS pregame show.
Hello, and welcome to the OPS pregame show. I'm your host, Owen Kruger, and I'm joined by Atticus Dean. And Atticus, coming into the season, we knew this would be a big game between 2 non-conference powerhouses, but now that they're both top 5 within the state, the stakes are even higher.
Yeah, Owen, there's always hype around this game every single year, but when these 2 teams are playing this well again, like this season, it adds a lot more excitement in the air.
And it's no surprise that they've been as successful as they are, with 3 of their starting players ranking within the top 15 of all-time points scored for their school, 2 of which being juniors with Jocelyn Bricker and the Miami of Ohio commit Brooke Zartman.
And to talk about Bricker and Zartman more specifically, I mean, they've both been phenomenal this year, especially Zartman. I mean, she's a 20-point-per-game scorer, and she averages a bunch of steals. I mean, she's a great two-way player, so her impact on almost every aspect of the floor is just unprecedented. You don't see it often. Gabby Helsum has been leading them in scoring almost all year, and she's a 3-level scorer. She's been a threat for them all year, but it's really about the team as a whole. I mean, key bench players like Delaney Nolan, Carly Mollering getting back in the starting lineup has really elevated this Spartans team, and they've been on a roll recently. They're looking to continue that here in this one.
Speaking of Gabby Helsum, our very own Braxton Hall was able to get a sit-down interview with her, and you'll be able to see right here, right now.
Take me back to last year as a sophomore. You quickly became one of the team's leading scorers and helped the team to a semi-state run. What was that experience like in your first season as a permanent starter?
It was a really cool experience, coming off freshman year. We graduated 5 seniors. So knowing that, some of our sophomores knew we'd have to take on bigger roles, and I just did whatever the team needed me to. But getting to semi-state was really cool, not only for us to gain experience for these upcoming years.
Gabby, thank you so much for joining me, and best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
That'll wrap it up for this OPS pregame show. Now we're sending it up to Braxton Hall and Malachi Stout in the booth.
Back again, everybody. Braxton Hall and Malachi Stout with you. And we talked a little bit about it earlier, and they talked about it on the pregame show. But these 2 teams, so talented, so good this season, it's hard just to explain the significance of this game. That game against Lawrence Central was the last time that Homestead played another top 5 opponent. Certainly they're hoping for a different result this time around. Of course, this time on their home floor compared to last time down south in the Hall of Fame Classic. Then meanwhile, coming into this game for Warsaw, and we know their last 5 games, they've won all of them, and they have rattled off 18 straight wins to begin this year.
Yeah, this team just looks dominant. It's one of the most unstoppable teams in the whole state, and a huge part of that, as you can see on your screen, is their defense. In their last 2 games, they've only allowed 11 in each of them.
You see your starting lineups on the screen there. Maya Epps, Liv Fry, Carly Mollering, Whitney Inkerbrook, Gabby Helsum, the starting 5 for Homestead. And since Carly Mollering has come back from her hand injury, this has been the group for Homestead.
Yeah, you mentioned Carly Mollering back into the starting lineup, and she's been a huge piece of the Spartans' recent success.
A lot of the games in the area have been postponed due to the cold weather, but still a pretty decent slate around the state. But of course, none bigger than this one. And outside of the Hall of Fame Classic, which regularly delivers big games, this might be the biggest non-conference game all season.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, with a lot of games being canceled, this stage is that much bigger, as now almost all eyes in the state are going to be on this top 5 matchup. It's set to be a great one.
A pretty packed house inside of Spartan Arena. And of course, you watching at home, ready for a big one. And now let's send it down to sideline reporter Atticus Dean, who's standing by with Homestead head coach Rod Parker.
I'm here with Coach Parker. And Coach, tough one here tonight. What does your team have to do to come out and do their job?
Well, I think the biggest thing tonight is keeping on the defensive end of the floor. Last year, we didn't defend their shooters very well and fell behind. So today, we're going to do a great job defending Zartman and Bricker. And if we can do that, I like our chances.
Thanks, Coach. Back to you, Braxton.
All right, thank you, Atticus. With that, we're going to step away from the national anthem. On the other side, it's tip-off between the Homestead Spartans and the Warsaw Tigers. Coach, your girls come into tonight a perfect 18-0 on the year, and now a matchup against a fellow top 5 team. How does your team get it done tonight?
You look at our 18 wins, and we haven't played anybody of Homestead's caliber. And that's something we're looking forward to. We wanted to be tested before tourney time.
Well, these are two teams we could see playing deep into the tournament, maybe in semi-state. But first, it's a regular season matchup between number 3 and number 5. A packed house is ready to go at Spartan Arena. The ball is tipped. We are underway. Maya Epps will have it here for Homestead to get this game underway. Mullering now with it for the Spartans. Passes over to Fry. Homestead, a team that really can play at all 3 levels offensively. Helsum's going to try getting the deep level going from 3, and she connects.
And the Spartans beating the pressure already. The Tigers sending forward players to the ball, but the Spartans just catching them out of rotation. You cannot leave Gabby Helsum open.
On the other end, the Tigers answer right back as the 3-pointer that time is good from Brooke Winchester. The senior getting the 3-pointer now quickly. Tigers in transition, and the turnover leads to points as Jocelyn Bricker lays it home.
Well, I mentioned it earlier, the Spartans cannot afford to throw the ball away. The Tigers will take advantage every time.
Carly Mullering has it, advancing it to Whitney Ankenbrook. Right wing 3-pointer is cash for Ankenbrook as she gets the 3-pointer to fall. Her 3-point percentage has really increased here in the second half of the season. Now back on offense come the Tigers. Neely with the ball. She's going to back it out. Now toss to Bricker. Such a talented team offensively are the Tigers, scoring just under 75 points per game. A little bit of a deflection there. Now the double team comes. Winchester, they're going to get her for a travel as that time Fry was able to get a little bit of a piece of it.
And the Spartans answering back with pressure of their own, and the Tigers were not ready for it. As you see, Winchester there just unable to stay on her feet, and now a huge possession for the Spartans to try to extend their lead.
So Homestead, the 1-point advantage coming back here offensively. The Tigers playing up, bringing just a little bit of pressure across the timeline. Now Gabby Helsum on the right block for the Spartans. Spins around, nothing doing there, so throwing back to Maya Epps. Now Mullering has it. Homestead, they really look for the 3-pointer, and here is one from Mullering, this time off the mark. So Homestead starts the evening 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. And then the ball fumble going up the right side. Bricker couldn't handle it. Mullering's going to have it for the Spartans. Turn to Epps. Now Ankenbrook. So both teams with a turnover now. Actually 2 turnovers for the Tigers, and now 2 for Homestead. Zartman gets the piece of that one. So now right side. Now back in the hands of Zartman, and it goes out of play off of her. Just a little bit of contact over on that far side, and the offensive tempo messed up there for Warsaw.
Well, the Tigers now 3 straight turnovers in a row. Their defense has looked outstanding early in this game, but their offense just not putting it all together early.
Well, Fry will bring it up to the floor for Homestead. Picked up defensively by Zartman. Fry, the lone senior out there starting for the Spartans. Now Maya Epps has the ball. Carly Mullering. The other 4 players. So far, Bricker and Zartman have been held in check. Just 2 points from them combined. Both those coming from Brickers. The ball goes out of play here. We're going to get some more substitutions. McLaughlin going to come in, as will Peterson. Another look at that 3-pointer from Delaney. No, she has been making plays ever since she came in.
Yeah, and she's really just done very well in the last few games. As you mentioned, only shooting 23% on the year. But she's been hitting her shots in the last few games. Scored 8 points against Snyder, and has really just been doing great things in the last stretch of games.
As Carly Mullering comes back into the game, and Eva Scarberry is going to be a late substitution as well. Delaney Knoll and Gabby Helsum will be the 2 to check out. Again, just reiterating it, Warsaw, they're not used to being in this position at all.
Yeah, we've seen them just dominate games throughout the year. They've really never seen themselves down, especially by this much in a game.
Now let's go down to Atticus Dean, who's standing by with Homestead head coach Rod Parker. Atticus?
I'm here with Coach Parker, and Coach, a close first half. You guys find yourself up 7 points. What do you guys need to bring in the second half to maintain your lead?
Well, we need to move the ball a bit better on offense. I think we've gotten good shots, but I still think we'd have better movement, and that's going to be our primary focus. Really make them have to work harder on their defensive end.
Thanks, Coach. Back to you, Braxton.
All right, thank you, Atticus. And Morning just needs to inbound it for the formality, throws it into Liv Fry, and that'll do it. The Spartans avenge their loss from a year ago, and they look into the eye of the Tigers. They take them down by 21.
Well, a great game by the Spartans. Start to finish, the Tigers never really went away, but the Spartans were able to play good basketball throughout and maintain their lead.
After last week announcing her commitment to Toledo, a great night from her. Let's send it down to Atticus Dean, standing by with Gabby Helson.
I'm here with Gabby Helsum, and Gabby, huge win tonight for your Spartans. You guys were able to knock off the number 3 team in the state. How did you guys pull this one out?
You know, it started on the defensive end. We knew we had to defend. They have a lot of great players, but then it translated over into our offense, and the defense fueled our offense for us. And we moved the ball exceptionally well and got shots that were at the rim and got good 3-pointers. So I think ultimately it was just a great team win overall, like on both ends of the floor.
We're going to wrap things up here at Spartan Arena. We are back on Friday. It is a doubleheader of action. The girls take to the floor at 6, the boys to follow at approximately 7:30. On behalf of the entire Homestead Live team, sideline reporter Atticus Dean and color commentator Malachi Stout, I'm Braxton Hall saying so long from Spartan Arena.